So far, the little Fiat has cost me just a few sheets of sandpaper, but the big money lies ahead. To make a decent profit, we need to keep the cost down. The respray will be pricey, but I'm also worried about the damage lurking in the engine. Time for a chat with Mike.
All right, Ed.
All right, mate.
Wow, you really have set to task on this one. There's nothing left of it.
I think I've stripped everything down and rubbed everything down as well, and it's been a real joy to work on. It's a fantastic car. When you think it's 35 years old, didn't give it any problems at all.
So now we've got it in this condition, what are we going to do with it next?
Well, obviously we need to paint it. I'm kind of really torn. I wanted originally to do a really special paint job, but actually it's so kind of honest and, I don't know, just genuine. I think we should do something a bit more retro, perhaps.
Do you know what? You're right. You have to think of this car in its original environment. It would have been sat outside a little cappuccino bar. Would look great in white.
With red and green stripes.
With a red and green stripe right down the middle, see? So we know what we're doing with the bodywork.
Yep.
What about this old engine?
This is a problem. We've got that really bad damage on that bracket. Also, the dyno's not looking so good, and the fan's damaged as well. Now, so far, we'd be looking at a bill of about £500.
A monkey, 500 quid. You're kidding, right?
I don't know what to do here.
Well, look, if we're going to give the car a repaint, why don't I look at getting a reconditioned engine for it, a new one?
Do you think we could afford that?
Well, I don't know. I'll have to put some investigations into it, but if we can get a reconditioned engine to go into this bodywork, it'll look fantastic, and these are back in vogue. They're selling for good, strong money, they're really popular, highly collectible, and I reckon we can sell it on for a fortune.
Sounds great.
Well, this car's travelled a long way, all those kilometres back from Italy, and it's almost back to bare metal, almost like the day it was on the production line in Turin. But I can't wait to see how our cheeky little 500 turns out. Join us next time to see if we can really pull off this Italian job. Ta-la! Welcome to the show that's mad about classic cars. Big, small, we love them all. This is the cheeky little Fiat 500 that I bought in Italy. And as you can see, it's halfway for its restoration project. And hopefully there'll be a big profit when I sell it on. My challenge was to buy and restore an iconic Fiat for £5,000 and make some decent money when we sell it on. I decided the best place to track down a 500 was Turin, Italy, the birthplace of the Cinquecento. Eventually, I found this peach of a car for £2,300. I thought I got a bargain until the engine spluttered and died on the drive home. Come on, don't die! Oh, no! I had to trailer the car to the UK. Back at our workshop, Ed stripped down the car, rubbed down the body shell, and pulled out that damaged engine. So far, the restoration has only cost the price of a few sheets of sandpaper, but we're about to spend out on a costly full-body respray.
We haven't got the facilities back at our workshop to do a really professional paint job, which is why I'm here in Brentford at a highly recommended mate of Mike's, and I'm actually quite excited because not only do I get to see the paint go on the Fiat, but also I get to watch somebody else do some work for a change.
The Fiat is really nothing more than a rolling body shell at this stage. Stripped and rubbed down, you can see just how simple this 50-year-old design really is.
Normally at this stage you expect to see the car covered in masking paper and masking tape, but there is so much bodywork that has to be painted on the inside of the car. All we had to mask up was the gear stick, the handbrake and a few other little bits and pieces.
I'm really excited. After hours and hours of work, it's time for the Fiat to change colour, and the man who's going to do the spray job is a chap called Raj.
This is pretty much the only help I'm going to give Raj today, because although, despite the size of the car, with all the other panels hanging up, there isn't really an awful lot of room for both of us in here. So, there you go, mate. Is that about right?
Yeah.
He's on his own. Raj is putting on the primer coat at the moment, and normally we then wait for that to dry and put on our top coat, but this time he's doing what's called wet on wet. So basically, before the primer really has time to dry, it'll still be a bit tacky. He's then going to go straight over with the top coat. You can see that Raj is putting on the top coat now, and you might have noticed that he didn't put any primer on the inside of the vehicle, and that's really because it doesn't get the kind of abuse that the outside paint will see. So really, we're just saving paint and saving time. Our little Fiat is looking superb, and Raj has only got a few more coats to put on, and then it's actually finished. Annoyingly, I can't get my hands on it just yet because it needs to stay in this oven overnight to make sure the paint is properly hard, and then tomorrow the red and green stripe will be applied.